eventually they're going to play the 25th first-person shooter World War II game they've played and go...
That year.
Wow, this is just... And they're going to bail.
Yeah.
You know, they won't be there forever, so...
As a gamer yourself, since you've been involved with games since you said the ColecoVision, which...
Pong.
Right, Pong.
So I remember saving allowance.
Wow.
To buy Pong.
So you're looking at probably like 83-ish? Before that even.
79-ish. 78, 76.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
There
was Ataris around, but that was like...
Right.
Way out of reach of what I could save on the, you know, from mowing lawns.
Right, right. Out of curiosity, just kind of incidentally,
yeah.
How much was the original Pong?
Oh, jeez. When I bought it, I think it was $50.
Really?
And that was...
In those dollars.
Yeah, in those dollars, and it was way cheap, you know, old technology. It was not state-of-the-art by any stretch of the imagination when I bought it, so...
All right. As a gamer who's been involved and is gaming to this day, how have your personal tastes evolved?
Oh, I mean, they really have, to some extent, and then some extent it's just been there's more of what I liked. You know, I used to play the crap out of Adventure on Atari constantly. That was one of my favorite Atari games. Cool, yeah. Well, then later on, they actually started making role-playing games.
Yeah.
Which really weren't much more than a adventure with actual stuff to do. So I started playing those, you know, because it was just an offshoot of me like an adventure.
Sure.
I used to play the crap out of Space Invaders.
Yeah.
And then, you know, then they'd move on to Galaga, and then we moved, you know, and then Gradius, and then slowly worked my way through those genres.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I end up playing the same genres I was playing back then. It's just now I have more than one choice in the matter, you know. It wasn't just, oh, you could play Space Invaders, and that was it until Galaxian came out.
Yeah.
So, you know, I find myself playing a lot of the same kind of genres I played back in the beginning.
Nice.
And once again, for me, I've just always... The best games for me are the ones I can just pick it up and go, I've never played a game like this before.
How many of those are there? I mean, at this point in time...
They're out there.
Are they?
They're out there.
Very nice.
Space Giraffe.
Yeah, I've gotten to play the demo.
Yeah.
That's it. Are you on the side of the love it?
Oh, yeah.
You are?
Well, I've been a big fan of this for years and years. I know. Okay, I own a Nuon in all the games.
I know, we talked about it, which is wild. Cause
yeah, I mean, I've been a big fan of his forever. Would, you know, have bought stupid expensive machines to play one of his games.
Well, yeah.
And he consistently impresses me.
Awesome.
Consistently to this day impresses me.
Awesome.
You know?
So the media at large pretty much missed the boat on Space Giraffe.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean...
It's kind of like a half and half kind of mentality, but it's really kind of 80-20, the majority being on negativity. Because I know he's kind of spoken out against it.
Yeah, and...
misunderstood, you know.
I've always been a big fan of his, you know. His work's always impressed me.
Yeah.
You know. And by the same token, I can't play Guitar Hero.
Fair enough.
You know, I mean, I look at that and I'm just like, that's amazing. I can play hours on end of it, and I just don't get Guitar Hero whatsoever. I don't understand. It doesn't do a thing for me.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, and for the record, the Space Giraffe that we're talking about is actually a shooter. It's kind of it's not an old school shooter. It's I understand there's a level of thinking involved that
it's anti-Tempest.
That's what he calls it. I haven't had, like I said, very little hands-on. I don't have a 360 yet, so I've only played a little. But it's a shooter in a totally new way. But it's still very old school.
It's a defensive shooter, not an offensive shooter.
Okay.
You're better off not shooting things than you are shooting things.
Okay.
But you still have to shoot things.
Okay.
So when I saw it,
so it's like playing outfield in a baseball game.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it and played it, and, you know, oh, wow, it's, you know. I kept hearing, oh, it's not Tempest, it's not Tempest. Saw it, and I was like, screw him, that's Tempest. And then played it and realized, wait a minute, why does my score suck? I was just kicking ass. Why is my score so poor?
I see.
And then when you start to understand it, you realize it's almost the exact opposite of Tempest in every way.
Okay.
And that's when you realize, okay, wow, this is really new.
Different. Yeah.
Nobody's done something like that before.
Kind of reverse engineered it.
Yeah. And that's, for me, it's always, you know, it's just something new that I pick it up and just, wow, what the hell is that?
That's good to know that's still happening.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen often anymore just because there is so much.
So much, yeah.
But, still I'll see something all the time that's just, wow, that's totally new.
It's really encouraging. I think that's about right. I know that I don't know if it's just me, but I do have, as you can tell, every time I come in, I buy a lot of stuff. So I have a lot of stuff, and I think I'm very, very interested, downright fascinated by the 3DO CDI, the first CD era. And I'm fascinated by it because the promise of the CD and CD's technology really was clearly an eye-opening experience for a lot of the developers back then, but the technology wasn't up to their ideas. So you have a lot of these what look like half-assed or half-baked games, but clearly the thinking behind it is relatively big.
It's just they couldn't do it.
They couldn't do it. And because the era itself, that batch of machines bombed so horribly, those ideas haven't been picked up, and the kind of the philosophy behind those games has not been picked up since. And so I look back at that era as a real kind of a lost dawning of a new era in thinking, if not software quality. And then nowadays we have games that are technically much more proficient in terms of gameplay, graphics, sound, everything on the list is ticked, but the level is so high that everything else just kind of looks kind of blah. Until the next GTA comes out, everything is GTA-like. We set new bars very high, and so everything looks kind of sucky. And so at a point, I look at my own collection, and I end up a little bit disappointed. I'm just kind of like, wow, you've collected everything that you ever wanted. I don't think I want to play any of this.
A lot of that's just more interesting for its historical value than it is to play it.
I think so.
I mean, dude, CDI was truly awful.
Yeah.
I mean, I can honestly say I have played every CDI game ever made.
Really? Congratulations.
I bought the salesman's rep for the Midwest.
Okay.
I bought his set. Awesome. When, long after the CDI was done, this guy shows up, and he had a salesman sample for one of every single game ever released.
Wow.
So I got to sit down, and I got to play them all. They all suck. They screwed up Tetris.
Yeah, I heard about that. I've seen.
So I mean, literally, no. Yeah. That's one of the only machines ever I can truly say. There's just.
I personally, I've only played four games on it. The tennis, anyway, I'm not going to get into it, but I will say that I bought later on my PC a game that originated on that machine that I think is fantastic, and that is Burn Cycle. I do think Burn Cycle is perhaps the best full motion video game I've played. I like it.
But full motion video, that's. You just gotta like those for the cheese factor.
It's true. It's true. It's pre-scripted.
Yeah, you can't like it for the gameplay.
Great style.
Yeah, it would be just as good as a movie.
Right. Which would not be, admittedly, a very good movie.
Yeah, but
but
yeah, it'd be just as good without having to play it.
Yeah.